Hello friends, welcome back. This is the 8th question of test 1 and this question has the same context as that of the previous question. So it says that you plan to deploy several Azure virtual machines and you need to ensure that the services running on the virtual machines are available if a single data center fails. And the solution recommended over here is to deploy the virtual machines to 2 or more regions. So in the last question, if you can recall, the solution was to deploy the virtual machines to 2 or more availability zones within a single region. And the answer to that question was yes, because deploying virtual machines across multiple availability zones within a single region would have the VM running if one of the data center fails in one of the availability zones of that region, because the other data center in the other availability zone is still up and running. So that was deploying virtual machines across different availability zones within a single region. And here in this question, the solution recommends deploying virtual machines to 2 or more regions altogether. Now, before I answer this question, let's remind ourselves of the concept of regions and availability zones in Azure. So if you look at the Azure Global Infrastructure Map, you will find that Microsoft has a lot of different regions across the globe. And these regions are represented by these blue dots that you can see over here. So each region has availability zones. Each availability zone has some data centers that have their own independent power, cooling systems, networking, etc. So by deploying virtual machines across multiple regions, we are effectively spreading out our services across different data centers, not just within a single Azure region, but across different regions altogether. So in the unfortunate event of a full region failure, where all the availability zones become unavailable, the services will continue to run because we have deployed the VMs across different regions. So the correct answer to this question is yes. The provided solution meets the goal of VM availability if one of the data centers fails in one of the regions. However, it's crucial to understand that while deploying across regions does provide high availability, it also introduces higher latency and costs as compared to using availability zones within the same region. So now why higher the cost when deploying across different regions? It's pretty simple and straightforward. So let's say you deploy your virtual machines in, let's say, West US2, in one of the regions West US2, and in another region which is East US2. So as you can see, the physical distance between West US2 and East US2 is huge. It will be in thousands of kilometers. So when the distance increases, latency increases too. So which might necessitate the use of higher tiered and more expensive services to meet performance requirements. So you don't want your application to perform bad even if it is hosted in two different regions. So you might need to use some higher tiered services from Azure, which will be more expensive to maintain that performance for your users. Also, when you deploy virtual machines across different regions, any data transferred between these regions incurs data transfer costs. So Azure charges for outbound data leaving a particular region. But within a single region, especially across different availability zones, these costs are significantly lower or might not even apply depending on the services and configurations used. So the solution of deploying virtual machines to multiple regions does solve the purpose, but might be more than what is necessary if you only need to guard against a single data center failure. So that's it guys for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next question.